Welcome students, welcome to English Teach channel, and this video is part 2 of Around the World in 80 Days 7th Standard CBSE English subject. Let us continue. So finally, Phileas Fogg and Passepartout were to the ship when it left New York at 9 o'clock. The next day, 13th December, Phileas Fogg was the captain of the ship because the Phileas Fogg gave money to the captain Speedy. So the next day, Captain Speedy was confined to his room with two seamen watching him. They wouldn't let him leave the room. So what happened? Speedy was arrested and kept in the room, and the two seamen who traveled with Phileas Fogg, they didn't allow him to come out because arrested by them. And how had Phileas managed it? Phileas Fogg wanted to go to the Liverpool. The captain didn't want to go to there, but the seamen hated their captain, and Phileas Fogg gave them some money. The problem is that two seamen, they don't want to go to Liverpool, and captain also don't want to go to Liverpool. But the Phileas Fogg managed this situation. How means? The Phileas Fogg gave some money to the two seamen who traveled with them, and finally they agreed with Phileas Fogg a plan. But the Captain Speedy doesn't want to go to the Liverpool, and he is not agree with that. The next point, the Phileas Fogg was a very good ship's captain. With its fast engine and the wind behind her, the Henrietta moved quickly over the water. So after that, Phileas Fogg, he was a captain of the ship, and he started to ride the ship. This ship with a fast engine and the wind beyond her, the Henrietta is the name of the ship, moved quickly over the water. So traveled very fast. But one of the seamen said among the two seamen, Mr. Fogg, this engine can take us fast. One of the two men asked, Mr. Fogg, this engine can take us fast. We have to put more wood on the fire. So that engine run by the fire. Maybe it is the steam engine. And where do we get more wood from? Now the problem is wood for the fire. And one of the passengers, one of the seamen asked that, and we get more wood from where? Then they got the idea from the ship only. From the ship, they built everything on it from wood. That ship built by the wood. Thank you, said Phileas. Phileas said, okay, you have given a wonderful idea. We take wood for string from our ship. So he told, thank you for your idea. I will have to think about it. But the Phileas Fogg want to think about it. He walked around the ship looking for wood. Then he called Passepartout, bring Captain Speedy to me. So after some times, the Phileas Fogg went around the ship and looking the ship, and he was thinking, and he decided to take the wood for string from the ship. Then he called his servant Passepartout and told him to bring the captain to me. The Captain Speedy ran to Phileas Fogg, he wanted to kill him because he arrested by the two seamen, and Captain Speedy didn't allow to ride the ship. Actually, Captain Speedy is the owner of the ship, but the Phileas Fogg undertook his leadership and undertook this captainship. So he was very angry, and Captain Speedy wants to kill the Phileas Fogg, and he ran very fast and he shouted there, thief, thief, thief. Thief means something steal. Thief, thief, he shouted. You took my ship. You took my ship. Where are we? He don't know why, because he arrested in the room, and room arrested. The Phileas Fogg replied, 770 miles from Liverpool. 770 miles from Liverpool. This Captain Speedy got too much, he said. But I sent you, Captain, because I want to buy your ship. Then Phileas said to Captain Speedy, Captain Speedy, I want to buy your ship. That's why I called you. Then Captain Speedy, no. Captain Speedy doesn't want to sell this ship to the Phileas Fogg. He said, no. He refused. Then I am to put some of it on the fire so the engine can take us to Liverpool faster. Then Phileas replied that I want some wood for steam, so I want to take some wood from your ship. So I need your ship. Then suddenly the Speedy, Captain, my ship? The ship cost $50,000. Ship called $50,000. Captain said, this ship $50,000 cost. But the Phileas said, here is $60,000. Here's $60,000, said Phileas Fogg, and he gave the captain 12,000 pounds right at present time. Oh, all right, said Captain Speedy. When he got the money, he said, oh, all right, Captain said. The Henrietta cost $50,000, but she was 20 years old. Even though the ship is $50,000 worth, but this Henrietta ship was 20 years old. You only want the wood, I will have the engine. So the Captain Speedy asked that, you want only wood, no? Yeah, you take only wood, but I will not give a engine. Then Phileas replied, oh yes, I am only buying the wood, because the Phileas want to get only the wood from the ship, because he don't want to buy the ship. He want to go to the Liverpool, and he want to win the bet. That's why he said, I am buying only the wood, not engine. Then thank you, said the captain said, thank you, because it is a profit. Then after that, and so at 11:40 on 21st December, Phileas Fogg put his foot on the ground in Liverpool. So finally, 11:45, 21 December, he reached Liverpool, and Phileas Fogg was taken to the police station in Liverpool. Suddenly, the police arrested him because it was a case of mistaken identity, because the police want to arrest some other person, but instead of that someone accused, they arrested Phileas Fogg. But by the time it was cleared, so the problem solved. Finally the police released him, and he watched his watch. It shows 2 o'clock. He had to be at the Reform Club before 8:45. So already time is over. He thought that the watch shows 2 o'clock. He want to go to Liverpool to England. So time is over. He was very, very, very tensed. They rushed to a Liverpool railway station. The London train had left already. The London train left from the Liverpool because time is over. The Phileas Fogg paid for a train. Then he got an idea. He bought the train or he paid train. They were the only two people. Only the two people on it. Only for two people he paid and he arranged one separate train to go to the England. But the train arrived in the London. The clock shows 8:50 and Phileas Fogg was 5 minutes late. Even though he arranged a separate train for both of them and they reached London, but the train reached 8:50. But the Phileas Fogg he want to be at the Reform Club before 8:45. So now 5 minutes late. The Passepartout was unhappier than Phileas Fogg because he has seen what are the steps and what are the struggled faced by the Phileas Fogg. So he was unhappy then Phileas Fogg, and he felt that this fine man had 20,000 pounds with him at the start of the journey. So the Phileas Fogg had $20,000 before he started his journey, but after completing his journey he has only 1,000 pounds right now. He spent lots of money for this bet, but he failed, and he also had 20,000 pounds in Barings Bank, but he had to pay it to his 5 friends at Reform Club. He has a money. He has a money $20,000. He has a money in the bank, but that money he want to pay to their friends because he failed in the bet. He lost the bet. The next evening, Passepartout ran out. He was red in the face and he couldn't speak. The Passepartout servant ran very fast and his face was very red and he couldn't breathe and he couldn't speak also. He ran to his master, Phileas Fogg. What is it? The Phileas Fogg asked that, what is this? Why are you running fast and your face also red and you couldn't speak and you are very breathing? Why? What is the reason? Mr. Fogg, tomorrow is Sunday. He said tomorrow is Sunday. Why is saying that he has found something? He has found something from the calendar. The time it changed, the day also changed. He found something. Tomorrow is Sunday. Then Fox says, no, it is Monday. Then servant says, no, today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. Again, the Fogg refused that, no, isn't it? So they have a confusion between them. Today is Sunday or tomorrow is Sunday, and Monday. Mr. Fox thought that today is Sunday and tomorrow is Monday, but Passepartout he found that today is a Saturday and tomorrow is Sunday. So there was the confusion of on a day. So what problem? Let us discuss. So yes, it is. Passepartout says that yes, it is today Sunday. Today Saturday and tomorrow is a Sunday. Then we made a mistake. Passepartout says we made a mistake. We arrived in England in a day earlier. Actually, within 80 days, they have to round the world. So they arrived in England one day earlier. one day earlier, but only have 10 minutes. Let's go, Mr. Fogg. You will have to run to the Reform Club. You do it in 25 minutes every day, but today you have only 10 minutes. Run, Mr. Fogg, and run. Actually, Mr. Fogg thought that we reached on Sunday and tomorrow is the Monday. Actually, he want to be on Saturday. The problem is why there was a confusion between both of them, because the reason is he pulled Phileas Fogg to the door and Phileas ran around. He ran and he thought about his mistakes. Of course, the time changes in every country. This is the problem. The time changes every countries. When you go to the different countries around the world, you can find out the different times. Local, that is called local time. And India follows Indian Standard Time, and other countries are follows their time. So the time changes around the world. Every country has a different times. So this was the big problem, and they found that they reached one day later, but they reached one day earlier. The problem that when you go around the world to the west side, when you go around the west side, you lose one day. So one day will be the less when you go around west side to travel the earth. You will lose one day. When you reach the same point, you will lose one day. But when you go around to the east, you can gain one more day. So one more day plus one more day. But now, was he too late? No. And Phileas Fogg ran through London. Okay, so this is what the problem. They started journey towards east side. That's why they reached before one day earlier in the London. But they thought that we reached one day later. So this is what the problem. Because of this timing change in different countries, this is the problem. They made a mistake. So finally, his servant Passepartout found this mistake and he informed his servant Phileas Fogg, and he started to run to the Reform Club. Only 10 minutes left. And Phileas Fogg's friends were at the card table. Card table means where they are playing cards. No, they are sitting on the cards table and they are looking towards the doorstep when Phileas Fogg come inside. And at that evening, when the clock said 8:25, and Stuart said, in 20 minutes he will be too late. The last train from Liverpool arrived at 7:23, and the next one arrives 12:10. We are going to win our bet. That Stuart was very eagerly waiting that Phileas will be very late, because from the Liverpool to England the train will arrive 7:23. So if he get 7:23 train, he will be at 8:45. But if he fail to catch this 7:23 train, the next time will be 12:10. At 12:10, definitely he will be late. So the stewards, he was calculating the timing about the train from the Liverpool to England. But now what happened? He is very confident that he is going to win the bet. So the next day, nobody said anything. On that moment, the steward said no. On that moment, nobody said anything, because they were not really happy. They don't want to win the bet, because they didn't really want to win the bet. They liked Phileas Fogg, so they played cards and said nothing. They loved Phileas Fogg, so that's why they didn't say anything to the stewards, but only the man stewards he was very waiting to win the bet, and rest of the people they are not really happy because they don't want the Phillies to lose this bet. And 8:43 8:43 is over, and said stewards, now time is 8:43, 2 minutes left. What is 2 more minutes left? The five men looked sadder and sadder. What happened? Only 2 minutes left. Still, the Phileas Fogg did not come to the Reform Club, and they were waiting and they were looking at the store step. 2 minutes left, and the stewards also remaining. Now 2 minutes left. Still, the Phileas Fogg did not come. The remaining five friends were sadder, looking very sad because the Phileas going to lose bet. And they watched the door and waited. A moment before 8:45, Phileas Fogg opened the door and said quickly, "Here I am, gentlemen. Now I am a rich man again," and said Phileas Fogg. Exactly 8:45, Phileas Fogg entered into the Reform Club and said, "I am here, gentlemen. Again I am going to be a rich man," because he won the bet. So why he entered into the Reform Club at 8:45? Exactly time, because he is a man very perfect. He is a man very perfect and gentleman. Exactly he told before when he started journey to around the world. 8:45 I will be back in the Reform Club. So on exactly 85, at 85 he entered in the Reform Club. So this is what the story, and this story adapted from around the world in 80 days. Okay, friends and students, we will meet in another video. Subscribe my channel and share my channel. You will get all my new updates videos. Thank you, student. Thank you for watching.